Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Dirt and Asphalt podcast.
We're back, fellas. We are ready to talk motorsports.
We got a lot to talk about today. Alex, let's get this thing kicked off.
Let's get it rolling, man. Let's
podcast
go.
Coming to you live.
Woo!
So as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not remember, because I surely don't sometimes, I am Safe Grafke. My co-host here, Alex Wanders.
We are DNA Podcast.
We are. Man, I tell you what,
ready.
Alex, we got so many results to go through today. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about upcoming with us.
This is going to be a fun show.
This is going to
be awesome.
This is going to be one of our better shows, folks. So if you're ready,
we are ready. We're excited.
We are so excited.
And Safe, let's get to talking. We got some racing to talk about.
Alrighty, so first up, we were lucky enough, got to make it to Knoxville Raceway last night. Probably one of your premier tracks. If you have never been to Knoxville, Saturday nights, get out there to the track. I mean, it's seriously one of...
They don't call Knoxville the sprint car capital of the world for nothing, boys and girls.
They do not, and I tell you what, did they perform?
They put on a show last night, and it was one of the best weekly shows at Knoxville, especially in the 360 division, that we've seen in a long time.
Best in all divisions.
Good racing.
I'm going to say they had 87 cars total.
48 cars in the 360 division last night, which I don't know if that's a record or not, but for a weekly show, but it's got to be pretty close.
It has to be up there.
It's got to be close.
I mean...
so many invaders from the Nebraska 360 Sprint Series and the MSTS Series.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
All around.
It was fun.
Brooke Tatnell drove in them. Brooke had his 360 out because he won at Jackson last night. So they said, hey, if you go run the 360 in Knoxville and won, we're going to give you a bonus $3,000.
$3,000 bonus was on the line for Brooke Tatnell. And they had 46 cars at Jackson, Minnesota the night before, so really, really strong showing by the 360 guys on both nights.
I would say so. I mean...
And the racing just lived up to the hype, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah, Knoxville was...
Some of
the best racing I've ever
The track was wide.
There.
It was slick. There was a nice big cushion. There was a bottom. You could slide through the middle if you need be. It was awesome. Great job by the Duncans as always.
Yeah, it's just a premier track. Get out there.
Hey Marshall, what's going on, brother? We're glad you could join in now.
Thank you, Marshall, and thank you for everyone else watching.
If you guys don't know Marshall too, he has the Facebook page We Love Sport Compact. So if you're a sport compact guy and you're into that, go see what Marshall has to offer.
And all dirt.
Yeah, he's your guy. He's your guy.
So anyway, back to
Knoxville last night.
Knoxville. Seriously, probably some of the best racing on all three. The Pro Series race, Matthew Stelzer picked up the win pretty heavily too. He was a good half a lap ahead of everyone.
Just put a whooping on him.
He did, and I mean, we were down in 3 and 4. He just rolled.
He just was on the bottom, and he was stuck to the bottom, and you were not getting him off the bottom.
No, he was like half throttle.
He
didn't have to even press into it.
He was on it last night.
So, congrats. That's his third win. He's won all three.
He swept the season already.
Sweeping them. Chase Young got second. I thought he was going to end up maybe picking it up there.
That last restart they had, he was this close to getting by Stelzer. He couldn't get it in the hole, and then, Stelzer just got away from him. So
yeah, that happens though. It's such a and Chris Walraven got third. Chris looked pretty good.
Chris is a wily veteran. He's been doing it for a long time.
Evan Epperson got fourth. And
good run for Evan.
Yeah, and Jeff Wilkie got fifth. He's a good driver.
Jeff's come a long ways, man. He's putting on a good showing at Knoxville this year. So obviously Stelzer's probably just a mile ahead in the point standings already, you'd have to think.
Oh, yeah.
With 3 feature wins already, it's going to be hard to catch him. I mean, he's obviously the favorite to win the track championship this year.
So this was cool last night in the 360s. They had 48 cars. Can't emphasize that enough.
Exactly.
The heat racing was great. We had Mike Reinke, Thomas Kennedy, Tasker Phillips, Wayne Johnson. They all picked up heat race wins.
Heat race wins, yeah.
Heat race wins, and then they did a dash.
And I'm pretty sure
dash was cool.
It was just like an outlaw dash. You win, that's where you line up in the feature.
And it was
situation.
Tasker Phillips won that. Congrats to Tasker.
Congrats, local boy, getting it done.
That was great. That was a really good dash.
Normally a weekly 410 competitor. He was another one of the guys that was doing double duty last night. A lot of guys doing double duty last night.
Yeah, that was good to see. I mean, a lot of guys. Trey Starks, Tasker, McCarl, Terry McCarl. I should emphasize that because there are 3 of them.
Brooke Tatnell, as we already mentioned. Mm-hmm. There were several drivers doing double duty last night.
So that was really cool. So yeah, Tasker won the dash. They had 2 B mains. Antron Jetton and Kelby Watt both made it out of the
first B main.
Second.
Was that the second?
Second B main. And then Travis Rylant and Cody Ledger made it out of the first.
Out of the first B main.
It doesn't matter. I mean, those 4 made it.
Tough break for McKenna Hassey as she kind of got upside down on that first lap. Third and fourth corner. That was not good.
And then the A main, Thomas Kennedy.
We got to talk about that A main because those last 5 laps of that feature were as good as you're going to see in 360 sprint car
I thought
racing.
Thomas Kennedy was going to pick that thing up. He had the high side rolling.
He got to the front, and he put it up on the top, and he just...
Because we were making before the race, before the feature, Alex and I pick a driver.
We were making predictions on who we thought would be in victory.
I said Giles. He said Kennedy. And hands down, it looked like Kennedy had that thing. Giles was in 4th still. And they had 3 cautions. Yeah. And Giles didn't move the first one. He moved the second one. And then the third one, he just ended up running away with it.
Well, on that last restart... I mean, Kennedy was leading, and I think was Carson McCarl in second, the 27 car? I think he was second, wasn't he?
He was second.
And Giles was in third.
Yeah.
And he just made a slide for life and just split them in 1 and 2.
He did. That was probably...
That was legit.
That was
the coolest
a
slide job of the
slide
night.
job. Textbook.
That was the coolest slide job of the entire night.
If you look up slide job, that should be the video that comes up.
You see a picture of Ryan Giles sliding Carson McCarl and taking second, and then eventually taking the lead in 3 and 4.
Yeah,
that's what you see.
He did. It was just perfect. He knew he had that thing dialed in on the bottom.
Giles had that Parker motor pounding all night too because he was quick time, I think too, wasn't he? Safe, I believe, quick time on the night.
Yeah, he was 16.5, 1.7.
So I mean, if you're quick time out of 48 cars, I mean that just says a lot about your motor program and about you as a driver. So I mean, hey, he's got it going on right now.
Yeah, and the 410s quick time was Trey Starks.
Good start to the night for Trey.
Yeah.
That was about all the good part of the night for Trey, but...
Yeah,
he had some rough luck.
He had a rough night. It was a really rough night.
Ended up breaking a rear end in the feature, I think. It appeared to be a rear end anyway.
So, speaking of braking in the 410 class... I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, hey, Safe, what is that black, white, and yellow piece behind you? Well,
let's take a look at it real quick, folks.
That there would happen to be the front wing off of Mark Dobmeyer's car. So...
Yeah, we were lucky enough to talk to Mark last night during the races and then after the races, and thank you to Mike Roberts for kind of introducing us to Mark. He's a super cool guy.
That was a really cool conversation.
What's that? With Mike or with Mark?
Both. Just had some really cool conversations with both of them. Dobmeyer's just a cool guy. Super. I mean, they broke their car bad. I mean, they backed it into the fence, broke the rear end, literally broke the axle on the rear
wing, and then obviously the nose wing. Which Safe and I were lucky enough to end up with. So thank you, Mark. We're going to try and get some more pieces, parts and pieces, I should say, for our studio going forward, which we would like to get a studio going here before too long.
Yeah. I was going to touch on that next, Marshall. Scariest part of the night was hot lap session.
First hot lap session for the 410s.
Oh, dear Lord.
We were right there, too. We were, right in front of it. Ooh, go ahead and go into detail about that, Safe.
Well, Joe Sembro, we had a good conversation with Joe. He took full responsibility. And it happens,
just
though.
A racing
deal. You know what?
Deal,
it was just a racing deal. He spun out. AJ must have had some tunnel vision.
Didn't quite see Joe.
Spun out on the bottom. He was flying into 3 and 4, and because we heard the motor and we turned and he came on the bottom, and Alex is like, "Oh God," and I'm like, "Oh," and then
Joe is sitting
sideways
in the corner, pointed towards the wall, and AJ Moeller comes in full bore.
With full motor.
It's not lifting, and it's not turning. He's in the center of the corner, and we're Safe and I are thinking, dude, do not look, because this AJ Moeller is about to ballpark this at Knoxville. This is going to be bad. Yeah. And at the last second, AJ, you can see he just makes a slight turn to the right.
Yeah.
And fortunately,
front axle
just clipped the right front tire of Joe's car, and kind of just did like one or two soft flips, one soft flip. And
they got the car back together.
Safe, don't you think that could have been a whole lot worse?
That should have been worse. That literally should have been worse. And that was hot laps.
Yeah. And thankfully, other than I would say probably McKenna's wreck, there wasn't a whole lot of hard. Oh, and
the B29.
B29
hit. 29B. I don't know who that kid is.
I think it was B29, but either way.
I don't know him. He was a 305.
That guy, it was actually a guy who has raced at Knoxville for a while, but I didn't know it until I looked up the results. It was a... Oh, shoot. Now I forgot it. We're live on the air and I forgot. Imagine that. It was, who was that?
I don't know.
I can't remember. We'll just move on. It'll hit me about halfway through the show and I'll just scream it out.
So, yes, for you those want. And that is also signed. He signed the side of the wing for us.
That was pretty cool, Mark. And actually, Safe, you have some other really cool news about Mark Dobmeyer. Why don't you tell the folks what that is, since you kind of set that deal up.
Well, I couldn't have done it without Mike Roberts. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely.
Mark is a good friend of mine. Really cool guy. I have some cool conversations. We're going to have Mark Dobmeyer on the show.
In the near future.
We're also going to have the greatest flag man in sprint car racing.
Obviously one of the coolest people you'll ever meet at the racetrack, too.
Yeah, Doug is a character. If you've never met him, he's just a character. He says how he feels about it.
What he's thinking, he's going to tell you, so be prepared. That's what's cool about Doug.
It's true. So, going back to some results, I have the 410 results from Knoxville. T-Mac, Terry McCarl picked up the win. We had Kerry Matson got second. Brooke Tatnell got third. Austin McCarl with a broken front nose wing got fourth. Davey Heskin got fifth. Justin Henderson sixth. Matt Jewell seventh. Wayne Johnson eighth. Tasker Phillips ninth. And coming from 17th or 18th
our boy
to
Mark
top
Dobmeyer.
10, good old Dobmeyer.
Mark Dobmeyer running up top 10.
Yeah.
Man, what a night for Terry McCarl in the 410 division. Honest to God, not a guy I thought would probably get it done last night in the 410 class.
Well, I did from the front row.
Yeah, but how about Terry? 59th career win at the Knoxville Raceway.
One more and he'll tie Doug Wolfgang.
For 6, I think, is that right?
Yeah.
With 60 wins?
Yeah, 60.
That's impressive.
So that's very impressive, very cool. Good luck to Terry the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
That's got to be humbling. I can't imagine it not being humbling.
59 wins. That's unbelievable. That's just one division. He's won several 360 races, too.
Yeah, that's just in one. So another thing that happened was notice this after last week. Last week when I was at Knoxville and we interviewed Eric Bridger, I had on my Logan Schuhart shirt, and Logan happened to win.
We're getting into the voodoo now, folks.
Logan happened to win that night.
He did. He won Charlotte.
In Charlotte.
And then...
So...
Last night.
Yeah, last night, I just threw on my Shane Stewart shirt that I had.
Yeah.
And Shane ended up winning the World of Outlaw race that they had at Nashville at the Fairgrounds Speedway.
Shane, you're $25,000 richer. You need to thank your good boy Safe Crafty.
You can throw a little.
You can throw a little commission.
You can give us
dirt
some
and asphalt.
You can give us some love and trust me.
You can go back. It's on video.
We would not be.
No, it's not.
Well,
not last night.
No, but you can still throw it our way.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a photo. You took a photo of us at the shop,
and I have my Shane Stewart shirt. Photo evidence.
So there is evidence. So I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, Stewart.
So if you're a sprint car driver out there, especially you outlaw guys, and Safe Crafty's wearing your shirt next Friday or Saturday night, there's a high probability you're going to win.
If you are watching the show and you are a sprint car driver and you want to win, send
Safe a t-shirt because I'm telling you, he's 2 for 2 now, back-to-back weekends. He's got this covered. I don't know what it is, but the good Lord has blessed Safe as a good luck charm.
So you can send us some merchandise.
Send Safe, because I don't know if it works for me or not. Because I was wearing a Darren Pittman shirt last weekend and Darren didn't win. So it didn't work for me.
So Shane Stewart won. Brent Marks got second. Brad Sweet got third. Tony Stewart fourth, who beat his driver Donnie Schatz, who ended up fifth.
That's shocking in the 410.
Gravel sixth. Macedo seventh. Jeff Swindell eighth. And Jeff won the dash.
Jeff Swindell getting it done with the Outlaws once again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's been a while since Jeff Swindell has been up at the front of the World of Outlaws show, so that's awesome.
It is. KTJ got 9th. Shoehart got 10th. And your hard charger was Derek Hager.
Derek Hagar getting a hard charger.
I'm sorry,
buddy.
He had a plus 11. That's impressive in its own.
You know, on a racetrack that was that small and that tight a corner, pick it past 11 cars, no matter the circumstances, that's impressive, dude.
If you could pass one, that's impressive.
Well, yeah.
Maybe two.
We're not going to go into the details. Well, yeah, we are. We're going to go into the details of Nashville.
Might as well.
Absolutely.
Nashville was a great idea. They had the thought. Idea. I'm glad because they don't have sprint car racing there normally.
No.
So that's great that they decided to try this. I'm not saying anything bad about the idea. It was the execution and the track prep that killed that place.
Yeah, it didn't help it any, did it?
No. You have to have good track prep. You have to have a good track in order to make this deal work. Unfortunately, it was rubber down.
One lane.
Kind
of flat. Too flat. But I will say, after we got home from Knoxville last night, I did watch the highlights of last night's feature.
Was it better than Friday?
Much better than Friday's show. Them guys seemed to really figure it out last night. So
that
race between Shane Stewart and Brent Marks, in the middle towards the end of the race, that was excellent racing. Brent actually, I think, led a couple laps. He got back in front and got out of the rubber and got out of the load groove, and Shane was able to get back underneath him and get back around him. So,
but again, some of the best racing, if you want to go do a weekly show, is Knoxville still. I mean, last night was absolutely some of the most phenomenal racing that you could have watched.
Very affordable, too.
Very affordable.
If you're looking for great entertainment and affordability, Knoxville Raceway.
Great date place. Take your
there you go.
Wife.
Date night at Knoxville.
Date night at Knoxville. Nothing better.
$15 to get in the stands.
Yeah.
And it's, I believe, $12 for teenagers, 13 to 19.
Yep. And then,
pretty affordable.
Get there a little early. Go to Rib Shack next door. Get yourself some good barbecue.
Get some good eating
going. And then head on over next door. Just walk on over to the track. Find yourself a comfy seat and enjoy a great night of racing.
Absolutely. And it is always a great night of racing at
Knoxville. And coming up this week, racing-wise, we have the Southern Iowa Speedway on Wednesday night. They just up their payouts.
Yeah, that's a big news story for the local area. So
which is great. They've needed that for years.
They have, and they're finally to the point where they're being competitive now with other weekly shows payouts. And I really think in the long run, short run, it may not make much of a difference, but long term, Southern Iowa Speedway is doing all the right things they need to get the car counts back and to get the crowd back. And I think you're going to see a lot of people start coming back Wednesday night to the Southern Iowa Speedway.
Well, they need to, because honestly, if it's not for fans, there is no track. That is part of our statement, is to give you results and upcoming events, because we want your butts in the seats, because we know from racing, even just the 1 year that I raced, it makes a difference when there's people there versus when they're not, because you can feel it in the pits. I mean, when we were at
the energy level is coming back at the local level. Local racing is actually pretty strong right now. It just around here, it just needs a boost. It's missing something right now, and that just needs something. And I think that by lifting the purse a little bit and by giving a little more incentive to race, it's gonna help. It's gonna take time. Everything that's good takes time. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
No.
So I think we just all, as fans and as competitors, and as, whatever the situation, sponsors, we need to all work together to bring this track and the local area in general, because it would be great to see Bloomfield and Eldon and all these other places, kind of work together and come back as one.
It would be. And, there's nothing like when you are at a track, when you're a fan like me, when you show up to Knoxville, like during the Nationals, and you're just walking around, you're kind of looking around, you kind of get into that mood where it's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is what's happening right now.
Absolutely.
And it's like that at weekly shows too.
And it used to be, like, Safe and I, you and I were little kids one time, and we used to be regular appearances.
We're not gonna get into.
We're not gonna get into that. That was a good one. That was a good one though. But you just think about, well, you and I were little kids, and we used to go to Oski almost every Wednesday night. I grew up at that place.
Oscar de la Lusa used to have the same hype that Knoxville had.
And I think that with the right people involved and the right fan base, I think it can be back. I think it can come back, and I think it's starting to make a comeback. It's just we need to support it. So like they said, they raised the purse. It now is paying $500 to win in the stock car and the sport mod class at Oskaloosa weekly. So that's a great deal. $400 to win the hobby stocks, which is also really great. And I think $250 to win sport compacts, right, Save?
Correct.
And speaking of the devil, there's Matthew Stelzer, last night's Pro Sprint Series feature winner at the Knoxville Raceway. So
congrats. And,
congratulations, Matt. 3 for 3 this year. And
I was reading on his Facebook.
Made it look pretty easy, too.
He said he got lucky. He was running out of fuel. So
I saw that.
He was having
That's why he must have got sideways on the front stretch the last lap, trying to shake
sense.
It. Does make sense. I didn't know what was going on there. Looks like he just lost traction all of a sudden.
Oh, thank you, Becky.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, Becky.
That's what we strive for.
Hey, go ahead and like and share this video if you could.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Share it. You help us out, we help you out, because this is all centered around not just us, but results.
It's just about the sport.
Tracks.
It's about the sport.
It's about everything about the sport.
Absolutely. And this is what we want to do. We want to be able to talk and BS about it, but at the same time help others.
I think this is what they've been needing. Talking to some of the drivers and stuff, they're like, hey, you guys are doing a great job. This is really what the sports need. And that's what the calling to this is that this has been brought to my attention, that this is what has been needed for a long time, is a show where we can talk about results, support our local tracks, give coverage of those tracks and its drivers. This idea for this podcast came to me one day.
This is really your brainchild, Safe.
I
just came along for the ride. I came along for the ride.
You and I had talked about this before, and now we're able to make it happen, because I just got tired of sitting there just talking. I'm like, I think we could do this and really help the racing community out. This wasn't just for us to try to make a quick buck or get, pieces of cars and talk to drivers and, be like, ooh, look at us.
For him, it may have been. He can't speak for me.
If that was your goal, we got a problem here. So that's the idea behind our podcast. Yeah, and also, if you noticed our banner, it now says Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We do have a YouTube channel.
We are on almost all social media platforms.
And it is Dirt and Asphalt Podcast. If you go on YouTube...
Minus Instagram. We're probably not going to get on Instagram.
No, not Instagram.
No, not our thing.
If you go on YouTube, look up Dirt and Asphalt Podcast, it will come up. We now have a full podcast. All of the podcasts are uploaded onto YouTube, so you can watch it if you don't have Facebook. So tell your friends, if, hey, you want to watch it and you don't have Facebook, check them out on YouTube.
There we go.
I will make sure to put the links on the page as soon as I humanly can. Just trying to upload the other one. I'll do that tonight, and then all 3 of them will be on there. So I was able to get that figured out.
We're doing the best we can with what we have and the time that we have to try and get more out there. And another thing that we've been talking about a lot is what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and go to different racetracks throughout the week, mostly the weekends. We're going to try and get interviews with different drivers and crew chiefs and crew members, and we're going to try and cover races live. We're going to, as we develop and as we learn and as we hone our skills a little bit as a team, we're going to try and make it a little bit better. We're going to try and be pretty much a full service, not just a podcast, but we're going to be a full service results. If you're a driver or a series director and you're looking to, get more exposure for your sport or for your team, we would like to be a hub for that. We would like to get your name out there. We would like to support the series and just help racing on every level, from the grassroots to the national level, grow.
Yeah, and one of one of our biggest supporters, Todd Staley. What he's done with Webster City and Mason City, and then
USRA and USMTS in general. USRA in general, and they actually
man is a genius when it comes
he's
to
done that. He's done a good job.
He has built.
And they actually
saved in those series.
I think USMTS raced last night in Oklahoma, and I believe you have those results. I think I gave those to you.
I do.
So I think we ought to just go through maybe real quick and summarize what happened last night.
They were at Tri-State Speedway in Oklahoma.
Yep.
They had 27 cars.
Good car count.
Bad.
Good car count.
Let's see here. Hunter Marriott won.
Good run. That's good for Hunter. That's probably his first USMTS win this year. So that's
$3 grand. $3,000 in his pocket.
$3,000 payday.
Derek Ramirez got second. Terry Phillips third. Jason Hughes fourth, and ran out the top 5. We had Rodney Sanders. 6th was Mike Striegel. He was the hard charger. He went plus 16.
That's a good run. Started 22nd, I believe. So
he did.
16, yeah.
He did.
Just do your math, folks.
And Derek Ramirez, who got second, started 15th.
So it must have been a very racy racetrack last night. Been a lot of passing. So that's good. We like those racetracks. We like multiple group racetracks where you can put on a good show.
Yeah, just really good racing.
You know, kind of another big news story out of the USMTS this week, Safe, and I think you and I and probably a lot of people out there who follow the show have seen that, is local driver Zach Bannerby, and his team have decided to pull off the USMTS Tour full time.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to Zach yet. I usually see him, but I don't want to say I knew that was coming because I didn't.
No.
But I could feel a sense that was gonna happen sometime because he has a wife and a kid, and it's hard.
I don't think he's married. Just to set the record straight, I don't think he's married.
You might be right.
But he does have a daughter, yeah.
He does have a daughter, and I think it was just getting harder since he does build the chassis, too. I think that's taken up a big part.
I have a different opinion on things, but
that's okay.
It's not probably
that's okay.
a place. This is not a place to probably discuss it, so I'm not going to bring it up. But
anyway,
as to why things happen, but anyway. That was a big news story from the world of open modified racing.
It is.
Been racing for a long time. Decided to pull off the road.
He had a lot of races.
Raced like 852 starts. I think
852 starts.
That was just USMTS starts.
Yeah, I mean he raced for a long time. Had a lot of races in his career.
USMTS, I believe, is back in action tonight. I can't remember where at, but they're on they race like 5 times in 7 days type deal. It's a swing they're going through.
Okay.
So you need to go over to the USMTS website, follow them on Twitter, keep up with them. Stay here at Dirt and Asphalt. We'll keep you updated on them guys as well.
Yeah. And then so racing this week, like I said, Southern Iowa Speedway Wednesday night. Stewart isn't racing this week.
Yeah, Stewart has a week off. So if you're looking for a place to race midweek, come to Southern Iowa Speedway.
Southern Iowa Speedway, Webster City.
On Saturday night.
The
Boone Speedway on Saturday nights
Boone
as well.
Speedway.
Friday night, there's a whole plethora of racing. You have the CJ Speedway in Columbus Junction, Iowa, Lee County Speedway in Donaldson, Marshalltown Speedway in Marshalltown, Iowa. Lots of other places as well. So follow us at Dirt and Asphalt again. We'll keep you updated on who's racing, what the specials are, what they're going to pay, what the incentives are. We'll keep you updated. That's our job.
Yeah, and then if you are just strictly into sprint car, Saturday nights head up to Knoxville
Raceway.
That was a good count for them.
87 cars.
87
for a midweek or
and
for
then,
a mid-season
if you happen
show.
To be up in Minnesota, the Jackson Motorplex.
They're racing on Friday nights. 360s mainly, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And they ran Friday night. Brooke Tatnell again picked up the win. Lee Gross got second. Thomas Kennedy got third. Jason Martin got fourth, and Jack Dover got fifth. And I'm looking at the whole list here.
A lot of hitters in that field. A lot of good cars.
Almost every single driver on this list ended up showing up to Knoxville.
For the most part, yeah, I think they did.
Which is great. That's awesome. That just shows the hype of Knoxville in the sprint car community.
Yeah, and it's paying $3,000 to win, so that doesn't hurt anything either.
No.
You gotta, a lot of them guys race for a living, so they work probably off percentages. A lot of them, so they need the money, they need the income, so you gotta go where the money's at.
Yeah. The cool part is that I heard a lot of people talking Thomas Kennedy's rig, because that thing's massive.
It's beautiful looking trailer. It is beautiful.
And someone's like, well, why is it so big? And I'm like, well, let's think about that for a second. These guys come from Canada, so I'm sure they live in that thing. I mean, they have to physically
you have to think about it. It's, it's like the Outlaw guys too. They race, 80, 90, 100 races a year. Yeah. They're gone all the time. Literally. So you have to have a trailer that's big enough to carry all your equipment, your spare cars, your spare motors, your tires, your rear end, your front axle, everything's got to be with you.
Well, that's why they're...
And you got to have it.
And that's why they're, I guess you want to call it a commercial camper, whatever you want to call it, the hauler.
Yeah.
It's massive, too.
It's a long one, isn't it?
It's about the size of the trailer. But you have to think, these guys care about racing so much that they have good sponsors. Thomas is a really excellent driver, but they made effort to have this huge rig, which I can't even imagine the fuel bill on that sucker.
No, I'm sure it's probably not cheap.
And
nothing in sprint car racing
coming
cheap.
From Canada,
pay safe
to do this.
You know how you become a millionaire sprint car racing?
How you become a millionaire?
Yeah.
You start out with $3 million.
You start with 2.
Oh, okay. Well,
either way, that's how you become rich racing, boys.
Yeah, start out with more than what you end up with.
That's exactly what the deal is. But
I'd say there was some really good racing.
There was, and like I think we let off on the show, 46 cars at Jackson last night, so that was a really great turnout for those guys. Probably going to have great turnouts the rest of the year there. Looks like a cool place to race.
Yeah, I'd like to get up there.
It's a fan favorite. It's a competitor favorite racetrack. So yeah, they're going to have a lot of cars there. Jackson National's coming up in a couple weeks there. 40,000 to win for the World of Outlaw sprint cars.
Yeah. So real quick, what's your opinion? Who are you going to pick Wednesday night at the Southern Iowa Speedway in the classes?
Man, Safe, you're really putting me on the spot here.
I am.
It's going to be tough because you never know who's going to show up.
Yeah, that's true.
The Sport Mod class right now seems to be the most competitive. They've had 3 races and 3 different winners, so I mean, it's just really hard to tell. I mean, I'd love to see 25, 30 Sport Mods at Osceola Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's kind of a challenge I'm throwing out there. But, I mean, right now, Curtis Vanderwall in the 1 car, he's won more races there than anybody combined the last 5 or 6 seasons. So, I mean, you can't really pick against Curtis. I mean, it's still his house until somebody can prove me wrong or anybody else wrong otherwise. So, I know Logan Anderson and the Greg Stroman Gnome 53 car has been really strong this year. They're racing tonight at the Benton County Speedway, 1,500 to win Sport Mod Special. Carter Vandenberg in the 7V's been really, consistent here of late. A lot of top 5 finishes, a couple feature wins. Really, any one of those guys could win in the Sport Mod class. What do you stock cars? I mean, you got to go with Caden. I mean, he's been on a roll lately. I mean, he's won them all. I think this year. He won a lot of races already. Mm-hmm. Hobby stocks, that's a tricky one for me because I'm not necessarily the biggest follower of hobby stocks. I mean, Dustin Griffiths is a threat any night he shows up.
Yep.
And I think I mentioned it on the last podcast. A guy I look forward to probably getting his first win this year, I really believe, is probably the 14 of Christian Huffman.
Yeah.
I think he probably gets a win this year, so don't count him out this Wednesday. Sport Compacts, I have no idea. Trent Orwig, if he shows up every week, is probably going to be the favorite. That's who I'm going with. I'm sorry, Sport Compact guys. Like I say, if you want to talk more about Sport Compacts, Marshall's probably your guy.
Yeah.
He could probably get you hooked up. But you've heard enough about me blabbing on. Safe, what's your opinion on what's going to happen Wednesday
Sport
night?
Compacts, I'm going to go with Brandon Allison.
Okay. All right.
He's tired of coming second, I think.
He got second at Donaldson last night.
Yeah, I think he's tired of getting second. I think he's
gonna get it done out here. He should have got it done a couple weeks ago, but we're not going to talk about that anymore.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Brandon Allison in the Sport Compacts.
Okay.
Sport Mods. Man.
That's your toughest bet.
I'm telling you.
That is a competitive class.
And, man. I should have thought about this a little longer.
I'm telling you, dude. You put me on the spot. You're putting yourself on... No. You put yourself on the spot. You're going to answer your own question.
Okay.
Gosh dang it.
I'm just going to go Carter Vandenberg.
You're going out on a limb there.
Yeah, I'm just going to... Shout out to Vandenberg. No, I don't know.
Shout out to Vandenberg.
I'm just going to go with Vandenberg. He looked good last week. I think he's got the car dialed in a little more now. I think he'll be strong. Hobby stocks.
This is kind of your area of expertise. This is your field.
I don't know.
This is the class that you raced in. These are the guys that you know and you talk with. These are your people, Safe.
Attempted to race.
Safe, you raced. I understand it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but you still showed up every week and you raced. So therefore, you're a hobby stock racer.
I don't know. There's a lot of the hobby stock class out here is interesting.
It's fairly competitive.
Because there's a lot of good drivers.
There is. There's a lot of good cars.
I'm going to say Derek Kirkland.
You're going with the 2K?
Yeah, I think he's going to go back to back.
That's a good bet. Did he win Wednesday night?
Yeah.
He did. Okay, all right.
He won by quite a bit.
See, that shows you what I know. I was there, and I still don't even know who won the hobby stocks.
It's okay. You'll get over it.
I'll get
Stock
over it.
Cars, man.
I mean, come on now.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not giving in.
Come on, dude.
I'm not giving in. I'm going Nathan Woods.
Really? You're going with Nathan?
Yep.
Nathan's been strong this year.
He's PO'd about last week, and he's going to redeem himself.
Think he's going to get it done?
Mm-hmm.
That's a class I would love to see, like 20 stock cars show up at Oski.
I think their numbers are going to start improving with the higher payout.
So. That when I was a kid, when we were kids, that was, I mean, stock car racing around here was, I mean, that's what we live for.
Yeah.
I mean, can you remember?
I remember being younger and going out to the track and watching the races, and it would be an all-night event, and now it's like you're home and in bed by 9 o'clock.
And can you remember some of the epic stock car battles, like the stock car shootout?
Oh yeah,
like between like Brad Pinkerton and Bobby Grainer Jr. and T.J. Chris, Brian Edel. I mean, that's just some of the guys who used to just. I remember as a kid. Howard Gordon was in there. Just lots of good racers in that. It was late '90s, early 2000s era. That for me, I just remember and I admire those guys to this day.
It was. Racing at Southern Highway Speedway was
it was awesome.
The track to go to next to Knoxville. I mean, both of them.
Well, you have to remember, Knoxville's a sprint car track.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
For at one time for stock car and modified racing, Oskaloosa was. I mean, it was the Knoxville.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It used to be the staple. It was the mother track. If you had a modified, a stock car.
If you could win at Oskaloosa, you could win anywhere.
Yeah, and that's what they used to say.
And if you think about it, the numbers may have tapered off a little bit, but when you look at guys who race at Oski weekly, who are fast, they're fast everywhere else they go.
Well, Bray Carter won the other night. He started 18th, and he
won at Marshalltown.
Got up to first.
Carter was in the top 5. They're both weekly competitors. Yeah. Go to CJ on Friday night. Almost all the guys there in the top 10 in the sport mod class.
Carter went to Marshalltown.
Yeah.
And he got second. Fourth.
No, don't go there.
Don't
go there.
Didn't someone give him the wrong gear?
I'm going to quit the podcast over this little incident. This is bull crap.
Hey, Wanders, why you tell me what you did?
Okay, just so we can set the record straight here. Because Safe went there, and I guess I'm going to have to explain my actions here.
I had to go there. You knew that was coming, brother.
It's probably fair.
You knew that was coming.
Okay, so here's the deal. Carter went to Marshalltown Friday night, and he didn't have the right gear to go, so he needed to borrow a gear.
Sure.
Well,
good friend.
We raced. We have all the 9-inch gear. Well, we only have a couple now. We had all the 9-inch gears. We had everything you needed. And what happened was Carter called me here a while back and said he needed to borrow a gear. So I said, okay, what do you need? I need a 583. Okay. Well, so there's 2 9-inch gears sitting back on the shelf in the shop. So I go back there and I pull them both off of the shelf and I counted them, because you have to count the ring gear and and you have to make sure you have the right gear ratio because otherwise it's not good.
Yeah, you do.
So that's what I did.
Sure.
And one was a 5.0 and one's a 583. Okay, no big deal. Well, me being me, I got distracted that afternoon.
Shocker.
Yeah, big shocker. So I walked away, I walked up front, answered some phone calls, did something up front. About an hour later, I go back in the shop, and I put this gear up on the bench because my dad says we need to mark that gear before we let Carter borrow it just to make sure it doesn't get confused with somebody else's gear. Okay, whatever. So we mark the gear. Carter comes, picks it up, whatever. Well, he puts it in Friday night to go to Marshalltown because CJ rained out, so he ended up going to Marshalltown. And he's running second in the feature. By the way, starts 8th. Is up to second, ends up getting 4th. He texts me that night, and he goes, Wanders, I don't know what the deal is, but he said, I think this 83 you gave me isn't an 83. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself.
Why would he think that?
Well, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what's he talking about? That's an 83. I gave him the 83.
Sure.
Well,
good guy.
We talk. We go back and forth. He said, I'll pull it out in the morning and I'll count it. I'll look at it. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's late at night. I'm ready to go to bed. Whatever.
Sure.
Well, he calls me the next morning about noon. Says, Bud, this is a 5.0 you gave me. I said, a 5.0? How could it be a 5? You got fourth at Marshalltown with a 5.0 is what you're telling me.
No.
He goes, yeah. He said, dude, it wouldn't go over $5,000 in the feature, or about $5,000. He said, if I went to the top, it worked great, but on a restart, I tried to run the bottom, it wouldn't work. So I'm thinking, okay. I'm thinking, there's no way Carter's right. I'm thinking, there's no way. Well, I get back from lunch. I go and pull the other gear off the shelf. I count it. Sure enough, it was the 583 sitting on the shelf, and Carter had the 5.0 in his race car. So yes, moral
of the story.
Summary of the story is Alex
don't trust this guy.
No, that's not the point of the whole story. The point of the story is I should have been smart and marked the gears. So after I counted them, so to put 5.0 on this gear, 583 on this gear. What happened was I walked back up front, and when I came back about an hour later, like I said, I picked up the wrong gear off the floor and put it on the bench. So yes, I pulled a dummy move, and I gave Carter the wrong gear, and somehow he still got a top 5 at Marshalltown with the wrong gear. So I know BMS is building Carter's cars, so shout out to BMS. Obviously, you built a very good race car. If you can get a top 4 and actually run second for the most of the race at Marshalltown with the wrong gear.
I'm not going to lie, that is incredible.
I mean,
that's got to be one of the better stories you will ever hear on this podcast.
I've got to think that this is not the first time in the racing world that this has happened. I pray to God it's not the first time, because that just shows how big of a bonehead move it was. But hey, top 5 with the wrong gear, can't argue with that.
No, I mean,
so it must
maybe that's going to become a new thing. People are going to start running a 5.0 at Marshalltown.
You might have learned something.
We gave all the speed secrets away to winning at Marshalltown. If you are a driver that runs weekly at Marshalltown, put the 5.0.
Put a 5.0 in it.
Do it. If she
gets really slick, it might help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just whatever you do, don't go to the bottom, because it won't work. You gotta stay on the top.
Most of the people, though, that I see at Marshalltown are topside.
I don't know. I've seen it right around the tires, right around the bottom.
And mostly
it gets that way when it gets really, really dry.
I see a lot of guys on the top, though. Todd Reitzler, he likes the high side. Some of the best finishes I've ever seen came from
I can't believe you
Todd
said that on the podcast, Steve.
What?
I can't believe you told all the people that I gave Carter the wrong gear.
Well, I mean,
I'm never going to be able to live this moment down the rest as long as I live. How do you think
I feel when we talk about stories when I raced?
Pretty good about yourself.
No.
Oh.
I feel exactly how you're feeling.
It doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, see, exactly. Lesson learned, my friend. So we had a lot of good results.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten into like half of what we're going to talk about, because we just wasted 10 minutes talking about how stupid I am.
Well, it's okay. That happens to people. So what do you got next on the list for results, Wanders?
I've got a whole weekend slate of dirt late model racing that went on across the country.
Do you now?
I do, and actually, where I want to go with this first, because you got to start small and go big, right? You got to lead from the little races to the big races.
Yeah. So, look out for us.
The World of Outlaw late models were on a swing this weekend.
Yeah, that's a tiny series.
Well, I mean, compared to what I was about to talk about, it's kind of a smaller series right now. I mean, come on, Save.
Okay.
The World of Outlaw late models were in the Cochran Motor Speedway in Cochran, Georgia.
Sure.
They had a 22-car count.
Okay.
And it was Brandon Overton in car number 2 picking up a big $10,000 win.
Really?
I think it was his first late model or outlaw late model win this year. Brandon,
I cannot confirm.
I can't either. I should have done some more research.
It's okay. We'll go with it.
Second was the 18 of Chase Younghands. And Chase is a graduate from the USMTS division. He raced for several years in the USMTS. Ricky Weiss in the Sweet Bloomquist number 7 came home 3rd. Brandon Shepard, the series point leader, came home 4th. And Darrell Lanigan in the 29 came home 5th.
Wow. I'm shocked to hear some of those names up there, because when you think when you think World of Outlaws, you're thinking, some of the other guys too.
Those are some big names, man.
Yeah.
Shepard, Lanigan, Overton.
Right.
And, I guess we're not going to stop there, because Saturday night, the World of Outlaw late models were in South Carolina at Lancaster Speedway.
Okay.
And it was Brandon Shepard getting his 8th World of Outlaw late model win of the year. So he's just absolutely dominating that series right now.
He's a good driver.
And that paid $10,000 to win, so he's bringing in the money. Show him the money.
Get you some of that, bud.
Get you some of that, boys. Ross Bales in the 87. He's a guy who picked up a Lucas Oil late model win earlier in the season. His first of his career, just on a little side note. So he got second last night. Michael Brown in the 79 got third. Johnny Pursley in the 9 got fourth. And Zach Mitchell in the 57 got fifth. And all I could get out of this event was that she was a rubber down, tire eating SOB.
Great.
So
that's what I like to hear.
Lots of right rears getting blown.
Lots of them.
It was a tire eater.
Lots of them.
Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't good. That's why you see like none of the World of Outlaw guys in the top 10 or top 5. So
yeah, that's kind of.
So it kind of sucked for those guys.
Well, you know that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
It happens to the
Shout
best.
Shout out to Vandenberg. You know what I mean? For those of you who know, you know. Well, in other late model news, there was a big race in Mississippi this weekend for the Lucas Oil late models.
How much did that pay to win?
It paid $15,000 to win last night. It was a 2-day show.
Okay.
It was the Geico Clash at the Mag.
Geico. Wow, that's a big sponsor.
They get some big sponsors in the late model world. They're doing really well right now, which is good for them guys. And it was Superman, Jonathan Davenport, winning in the 49 on Friday. He's got to be a favorite going into the Dream this weekend at Eldora. I forgot which race it was. It was the Dream.
What do you think about Bloomquist? You think he could be up there?
Well, I mean, it's Scott Bloomquist. You can't bet against Scott Bloomquist.
No, that's true.
I don't care if he hasn't been in a car for 3 months or if both of his arms are broken. I think he could get in a car and probably wheel it to the front.
Yeah, he might not be wrong there.
You know, I just think, I mean, come on. That's something we got to talk about when I get done here. Is the Dream.
Okay.
So second was the 39 of Tim McCready.
Good. Third
was the 1M of Devin Moran. Fourth, the 157 of Mike Marlar. And then Don O'Neill in the 5 rounded out the top 5. That was a 25-lap feature. And that paid $5,000 to win. So that was the prelim night. And then the big show last night for the big dogs. It was Mike.
Big show for the big dogs.
Big show for the big dogs.
I like it.
That's what they are. They're the big dogs, man. Yeah. Big horsepower, big tires, go fast, wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
That's my explanation of dirt late model racing right there.
Love it.
So Mike Marlar picked up the win. He is the Clash at the Mag champion for 2019.
He won the Nationals, 2 years ago?
2 years in a row, too.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So Mike's had a really, really, really good couple of years.
Oh, that's good for him.
And that paid $15,000 to win. So that was a big win for Mike. He's a good guy. I don't even think he races full time anymore.
I don't think he does. I think he has a job.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think he races full time.
I don't think he does.
Tim McCready, bridesmaid again, came home second. So Tim just couldn't get her done. Former Chili Bowl champion Tim McCready. So
that's true. That is true.
Jonathan Davenport came home third. Josh Richards in the 14 was fourth, and Earl Pearson Jr. rounded out the top 5, and that was a 100-lap feature.
Can you verify one thing for me real quick?
I'll try.
Did Tyler Erb get 6th both nights?
Did he get 6th both nights? He did.
Wow, that's impressive.
He's consistent. He's a consistent 6th-place car right now.
Consistent like Freddie Raymer.
Consistency wins you championships.
No, we're not going to go back on that.
Why are you always hating on Freddie Raymer?
I'm not hating on him.
What did Freddie Raymer do to you? Did he pee in your Cheerios?
I'm just telling you, it's one or the other with him. Look up all of his stats. Look at his stats.
There's a lot of guys who are
Anyway, we're going to get back on topic here.
Now, since we're on the topic of dirt late model racing, open dirt late model racing. Open, yeah. We don't talk about crate late models.
We don't talk about crates at all. We don't talk crates.
No, we don't like them.
Mm-hmm. That's just our opinion. It doesn't matter.
Are you saying we don't matter, Safe?
No, I'm saying we do. Just our opinion on... Okay. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Mr. Mike Wanders.
Thank you, Michael, for the NHRA update. So it looks like Steve Torrance won Top Fuel, and Ottumwa, Iowa native Tommy Johnson Jr.
Hey, high five on that
getting
one.
Around,
Dilly
getting the
Tommy.
funny car win in Chicago today.
That guy's cool.
Tommy?
Yeah, we had a good conversation.
You did have the pleasure of speaking with Tommy once.
Hey, he's a cool guy. Anyway, back on topic.
We are back on dirt late model racing.
We have to keep ourselves on track for this.
We're dirt late model fans.
Yeah, we like anything.
So this weekend, it is officially Dirt Late Model Dream Week.
Yes.
This week at Eldora. So it is going to be a big show. It pays $125,000.
Big show.
$125,000 to win on Saturday night.
Yes.
100 laps.
Yes.
There's going to probably be 70 to 80 of the best dirt late models in the country there.
Approximately.
Safe Grafke?
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Papa.
Are you prepared? Who is the 2019...
Jonathan Davenport.
I didn't even get asked a question.
I know. I didn't want you to.
So you're going with Superman.
I'm going with Superman.
Superman is gonna get the cape out and he's gonna fly. He went.
He's doing
there.
it.
He did.
I did it.
He went there.
I had to.
Oh my
You knew
gosh.
I had to.
Okay, so since I put you on the spot, I know how to put myself on the spot.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Well, you picked Davenport, so I can't pick Davenport because we can't both pick. I mean, we can, but I mean, it's not fun if we both pick the same. Well, yeah.
You want to put a Coke? You want to put a pop and a candy bar on this bet?
We're gonna put a Coke.
Well, it doesn't have to be Coke. It could be anything. Pop and a candy bar.
I'm kind of a Coke guy.
Let's do a pop and a candy bar bet.
Shout out to Coca-Cola
Shout
if you
out to
guys want
Coca-Cola.
to endorse us.
We'll put a banner up.
You gotta try,
Yeah.
but okay.
You're close. You want to do that? Shake on it, gentlemen's bet.
Wait, what's the bet again?
A pop and a candy bar
on the Dirt Late Model Dream winner.
Yeah, whichever one of our drivers.
Is it the highest finishing guy, or does he have to win the race?
He doesn't have to win.
If he wins, $10 added to it.
Sure.
$10 for the winner, a Coke and a candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
If he finishes higher than the other guys pick, just a Coke and a candy bar.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. We're going big and going home on the Dirt and Asphalt podcast. Okay, so you've got Davenport.
I got Davenport.
Oh, man, that means there's like 50 guys who could probably win that race. Oh, man. Oh, man, this is a big deal for me, folks, because I want the Coke and I want the candy bar and I maybe want the $10 if it does happen. Okay. I'm going out on a limb here because he's had a really consistent year.
Here we go.
He's fast.
Here we go.
And he's kind of in a revival right now.
Here we go.
I'm going to go with Earl Pearson Jr.
Wow.
I went there, folks. Earl Pearson Jr. is going to win the Dirt Late Model Dream in 2019.
You heard it right here.
And I am going to get a Coke and a Milky Way candy bar and $10 from Safe Grafke.
We'll see. I think we both
You heard it here first.
Well, we're good at that.
By the way, if I win Milky Way, what do you want if you win?
I want a Reese's Fast Break.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And a cream soda, A&W cream soda.
Cream soda? You've been hanging out with Vandenberg for too long.
I have been.
He's a cream soda addict. Yeah. Safe's turning into one, but that's okay.
It's good. It's good stuff.
I think that's the biggest race this weekend we have going on in the dirt world in the country. It's the Dirt Late Model Dream, 125,000.
Sprint Cup race. Who won that today?
Oh, the NASCAR race today.
Yeah.
Monster Energy Cup, by the way.
Sorry,
Monster. I know.
I don't like monsters, so we're gonna leave it there.
Well, it was everybody's favorite guy won today.
Who?
Kyle Busch.
Oh, shocker!
Everybody's favorite, Kyle Busch. Gets
good for him.
4th win of the year, 55th of his career. So I mean, whether you hate or like the guy,
good for him.
The dude can win. He can wheel an asphalt stock car.
Must have some special
and of course, horsepower. Our guy Kyle Larson, about 5 laps ago, hit the fence.
Shocker,
as always. So he ought to. Kyle, if you're watching, which that would be awesome if you were. Please come back sprint car racing full time.
Wins it or wrecks it.
Please run the Outlaw Tour full time. Do something cool. Come on, man. We miss you. Seeing you at the track every night.
Yeah, come on, Young Money. Please come back.
Just get out of the NASCAR game, please.
Yeah, that's what Casey Kane did. He said it's probably the best decision he's made.
Tony Stewart did too. And look at Tony. Tony's got 7 sprint car wins this year already.
Yeah, he's doing good, man.
It just doesn't make you happy to see Tony Stewart fast again.
The car owner beat his driver at Nashville.
And that doesn't happen very often.
No.
Which he doesn't get beat very often anyway.
I wonder if Schatz is just kind of like, I should probably let him by.
No way.
Okay.
There's no way.
Yeah, you never know.
You can't let a guy win even if he is your car owner. I mean, come on. That ain't racing.
No, it's not.
I would have dumped him.
You know what? Should we...
I would have dumped my car owner for the win.
Hey, should we also do early prediction? Another candy bar, Coke, and $10.
What are we betting on?
I think we should do nationals because we're 60 days away from the 360 nationals.
We could do that later, but we could also bet on the Kings Royal because that is now officially the richest paying sprint car race in America.
Yeah, let's do it.
175,000.
Since I went first last time, I'm gonna give you.
Are you really gonna give me?
I'm gonna give you.
You're gonna give me the first pick because I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want me to call it?
Go ahead.
I'm going with Donnie Schatz to win this year's Kings Royal because
such a shocker.
If you lay the big safe, come on, if you lay big money out in front of Donnie, he's gonna win it. He's won the last 3 Kings Royals.
Brad Sweet.
Okay.
Brad Sweet.
Right. Brad Sweet's not a bad pick because he's been fast.
Brad Sweet.
Who?
Sweet.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of Donnie Schatz either.
Don't even act like.
What's her name? Again?
Yeah. Don't even go there, Safe. You know better than that.
I did.
Okay, so you're going with Brad, and I'm going with Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, probably the 2 best sprint car drivers in the world right now. Up there, I would say Kyle Larson's probably a close third right now.
Lance up there. Lance
DeWeese. Oh, we didn't even. None of us thought about Lance. He's gonna be at the Kings Royal. Oh man, we just shortchanged.
I think he's gonna be top 10. I don't know.
We just shortchanged Lance DeWeese.
I don't think we shortchanged him.
Man, do you think he can win Knoxville, the Nationals?
Why would you bring that up?
Well, I mean, come on now.
I'm a realist when it comes to thinking about this stuff. I'm not hating Lance. I think he is a wonderful driver.
You have no faith in the great Davy Brown.
I do. Just listen. Will you just listen?
No.
Top 10.
We're at in the top 10.
I'm going to say he's going to be like 9th.
Where's he start?
He's going to start, I don't know. I'm going to guess he's probably going to start 15th.
I can't believe you right now.
I'm a realist, man. I'm a realist.
I think my heart just broke.
No, that's fine. Where do you think he's going to end up?
On the podium. I'm not saying he's going to win. Because, I mean, I'm being
third, second.
First, second, or third. He's either going to win it or he's going to be on the podium.
Okay. What about Brownell's Big Gun Bash? You want to put some money on that one, too?
Oh, my God. We're going to be broke over this.
Yeah, who cares?
Man, we need some sponsorship because we're going to be broke over betting each other.
Yeah. Pepsi, if you want to sponsor us, I will gladly also drink Pepsi.
I drink Coke, so sorry.
Well, I think they carry Coke, too, though. I think they can get it.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can.
No.
I will bet you $10 on that one.
There's no way.
I know they can.
Okay.
I have friends that.
Okay, Brownell's Big Gun Bash. Are we betting on just Saturday night?
Let's just do Saturday night.
Okay. All right, Safe. Since I went first on Kings Row, you go first on Outlaw Show at Knoxville.
Brian Brown.
Really?
Nah, I'm putting Brownie on the spot.
You are going with Brian Brown. I mean, don't get me wrong. Brian Brown is like the master of Knoxville right now. But
Brownie on the spot.
Dude.
Put him on the spot.
That is Donnie's house.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's Brownie's house this year.
Brian Brown.
Here, I swear if you pick shots, I'm going to kick you.
Well, you can't. You can't kick me.
That's like.
I mean, you can, but.
That's like.
Dude.
You're going to predict shots, I'm sure.
Think about this.
I'm going with underdogs here, man.
Okay, well, Brian Brown's not really an underdog.
Yes,
like
he
Austin
is.
McCarl would be an underdog, or like a Linton Jeffrey, or somebody like, or Jacob Allen. That'd be an underdog.
So is that who you're gonna pick?
No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No. Which I mean, I would think that would be awesome. That would be cool if Jacob Allen could win it.
Okay, just go ahead and say Donnie shots.
I didn't say I was going to pick Donnie. I'm just going to go over little numbers here. We're going over history. I'm a history guy. I love history. Donnie shots. First or second in 13 straight Knoxville Nationals.
That's nationals.
He hasn't. It doesn't matter. He's got 27 career wins at the Knoxville Raceway. Mm-hmm. A lot of those are just World of Outlaw wins. They're all World of Outlaw wins.
Right.
Never raced weekly at Knoxville. Mm-hmm. So how can you vote against Donnie Schatz?
I am.
You're going to do it.
And you're going to vote for him.
I'm going to go.
Sad, pathetic man.
So you're going to make it personal now that I think Donnie Schatz is going to win Knoxville this year.
Yes, because if you pick the guys that are always at the front, I'm going to go with someone.
Because they're at the front.
I know, but you got to be different.
That would be like me going saying, you know what? I think Robert Bell's going to win the World of Outlaw show at Knoxville this year.
That is not true. Not true.
Well, why would I pick? Why wouldn't I do that?
Well, why wouldn't I pick Brownie? He's been good there lately.
Well, yes, he's good at Knoxville. He's got 45 wins at Knoxville.
Right.
You know, but he's never won an outlaw race at Knoxville.
Well, I think this is his time to shine.
You really think Brown's going to do it?
I think Brownie's going to get her done.
Well,
and let's hear your pick.
Brad Sweet.
Okay, I'm shocked you went there after
Brad Sweet, get her done. Woohoo!
After the longest explanation
I just threw you off, folks.
You
gotta set them up. You gotta set them up.
Apparently,
dude.
So. You're good at that.
You just don't know what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna do.
No, I don't.
You don't know what I'm thinking up here.
I never do. It's hard to read you.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if I should be offended or be complimented.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just take it then.
You're welcome.
All right, brother.
Alrighty. Well, I don't have any more results, Alex.
I don't either. It was kind of a light week. I mean, not a light week. It's never a light week.
No, there's always results.
There's always something going on.
Here, I'm going to give these to you.
He's going to give me back the results.
I'm going to give you your result sheet.
Safe, is there any sentiments or any...
sentiments? Holy
anything
cow,
you would like...
I
know. I read a dictionary this week. I learned some things.
It's like talking about the aerodynamics of the front wing back
See that nose wing right there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, race fans across the world? That nose wing could probably still be used. We could probably straighten that up and make it work.
Yeah, we'll put it on our sprint car that we're going to own someday.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But, Safe, we've had a good show. We've talked about a lot of good things, had a lot of good fan interaction.
Yeah, yes, thank you to the fans.
Why don't you give us a closing statement on the week in motorsports and what you think going forward?
Alrighty, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has been another interesting week in motorsports here in the great America. Great America. Make America great again. That's what I had to say about that.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to the topic. It has been another great week of motorsports. We want to thank you all for listening and tuning in tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of racing out here this week.
Don't you think you're being kind of dramatic?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay, all right.
Never mind.
This is your moment.
This is my moment.
Okay.
That's the last time that'll ever.
It's escalated quickly, folks. Now we're singing on the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's been a great week of motorsports everywhere. In Knoxville, great. This is what I have to say. Support your local track. Get out there, get your butts in the seat, get your feet in the pits. Go talk to the drivers after the race, because that's something that drivers look forward to. So just stay a little after, because sometimes you don't have anything else to do that night. Just go down and talk to them. Get a hero card, get an autograph. Just do something like that. But go to the track. I cannot emphasize that enough. Go to the track. This is what we have this for the fans. Tracks are open because they want fans there, because they want race cars there. It's because racers want to be there. And without any of that, if we didn't have fans, there'd be no track. With no track, there would be no cars. And with no cars, there would be no racing. Go to the races.
It all works together.
And I also want to say this. I appreciate the comments I've been getting from people ever since the first podcast. Yes, this is only number 4. I have a lot of drivers and a lot of fans coming up to me, just talking to me about how much they like the show. That means a lot, because that means that we're doing something right, and it's humbling. It really is. Our goal is to get things better every show. Obviously, this show, we didn't really do a whole lot different except we started a YouTube channel. But that's still a step in the right direction, and we talked to some more drivers. We are going to have interviews that we are working on right now, setting up. I figured out how to get my phone working so we can do voice calls with different drivers. So that should be something for you to look forward to. We're going to make sure we give you a timely notice on those. So make sure you tell anyone that you know that is into this stuff, like, hey, this is going to we have some big names lined up. Going up and talking to these guys, they want to do this stuff because they want to, this is some good stuff for them. And 2, because they care about the sport and Absolutely. They love what we're doing. Mark Dobmeyer made a comment to me when Mike Roberts took me over to meet him. He said, "That's awesome. We need this in the sport.
We need the exposure for the sport to help grow the sport, because we all love it."
That was huge to me when he said, "That's awesome. Come talk to me after the races." That's a big deal, and it's not just because of the name. Don't think that at all. It's because drivers are excited to see this. Because this is what they need. This sport, on all levels, it needs exposure, and that is our deal. That's what this is all about. It's not for our self-pride. It's not for us to make money. It's not for us to become these two famous guys. That's not our goal here. Sure, it's cool if it happens, whatever. But our goal is to get fans interacted with drivers interacted with the tracks, and for us to get interacted with them so they can interact with you. That's the whole goal of this. This isn't about anything. This is about the sport. So get your butts in the seat, keep watching, make sure you share, like, follow us, tell your friends, tell your family. Make an announcement at your church for all I care. I'm joking about that, but
no, he's not.
Help us because we're here to help you. And by helping us, you're going to help your track. And help your track by going to your track. That's all I have to say right there. Alex, why don't you give us your round out?
Well, as always, it was an amazing weekend in motorsports.
Amen.
Lots of series, lots of great racing, lots of tracks and competition. We want to congratulate everybody on their feature wins this weekend, all across the country of all series. I would like to really just reiterate what Safe led off with his statement. Tragically, we had 4 dirt tracks close up across America this weekend, some for different reasons than others. Obviously, a lot of it is financial, so that means that they're not getting the car counts, they're not getting the fans in the stands, they're not getting the local involvement. I think that's something a lot of people miss, is that local businesses make a huge difference in the local short track scene. So as a community, we all need to come together to support our tracks. It's not just about the drivers and the crew members and the fans. It's about everybody coming together. It has to all work together to make it work.
It's a family.
And that's one of the beautiful things we see happening at our local track, the Southern Iowa Speedway. We see the community coming back. We're beginning to see car counts kind of lift. We're beginning to see everything work the way it's supposed to work. It's taken a while, but we're very happy. So, as always, as Safe and I will always say on this show, we encourage you to get out to the racetrack, wherever you may be, whatever the racing might be. Spend your money at the racetrack. Bring people to the racetrack. Bring somebody new to the racetrack every week. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of exposure to make a lifetime fan out of somebody, no matter what it might be, a sprint car, a late model, a modified, whatever.
Especially kids.
Get the kids involved, because I know a lot of racetracks are doing a great job in getting the kids involved. A lot of kids prizes and toys and candy and nickel tosses. I mean, that's great to get the kids involved. That's what we need. Another thing, like Safe said, we're having a blast making this podcast. It's just been an absolute joy for Safe and I, and it's been really cool, like he said, to see car owners and track members and drivers come up to us and say, hey, you guys are doing a great job. This is what our sports needs. We need this to grow. We would love to come on your show. Just all the kind words. It means so much to Safe and I. It's not even funny. A lot of these are guys we looked up to as kids, and getting to talk to them and get to know them on a first-name basis and have things like this happen is just amazing. So we thank each and every one of you for doing that for us. We're going to, like Safe said, Safe's kind of organizing right now, calling and talking to people. We're going to have a schedule come out of who's going to be on our show, when they're going to be on our show. Like Safe said, we're basically on all social media platforms now. Obviously, our Facebook page. We would really appreciate it if you would like and share our videos. If you would follow us on Twitter, and our Twitter handle is @dirtn, capital DIRTN _asphalt. That's our Twitter handle if you want to see that. YouTube, Safe started a YouTube channel this week for our page, for our show. So if somebody who doesn't have Facebook that who's a motorsports fanatic like we are, who wants to just join in on conversation, you can direct them to our YouTube channel. I believe it's Dirt and Asphalt on YouTube.
Yeah, just the same name as our Facebook page, but podcast at the end.
Podcast at the end.
Go
to that, share our videos, like our videos, like we say. Just thank you to everybody who is, like I say, who's already done so much for us. We want to see this thing grow. We want to see our sport grow. We want to see more people at the racetrack. We want to see more sponsors get involved. And, it's just been a good, fun week, and we look forward to coming back next Sunday night and talking about it and doing it all over again.
And one other thing, a few pages to follow if you are a fan. Open Wheel Leaders. These are all Facebook, by the way. Open Wheel Leaders. We love sport compacts and worldwide sprint car fans. Make sure you follow those pages, because all 3 of the owners of those pages are supporters of ours.
And we appreciate it greatly.
And it's huge to be working with these pages, because it not only helps us get results and tracks out there so you know what's happening, but it helps keep their pages going too.
And it grows the conversation.
It grows, and that's all we're about here. We're not going to... It seems sometimes like, oh, you're a little hard on a driver or something like that. That's not our intention.
Well, you are.
But... I know, I can't be. But we're just here to talk about dirt racing and have fun, and, that's what this is all about. So, again, everyone, thank you for watching, liking, commenting. And keep it up.
One more thing I want to add before we go off the air for the night. Like I've stated the last couple shows, we're really big into results and exposure for the racetracks in the series. So we're gonna always be posting results, whether it's the World of Outlaws, the All Stars, the NHRA, NASCAR, IndyCar, local racetracks. So if you would please, if you have results that we miss every week, please don't hesitate to share them on our page or share them to us. And Safe, that's all I got to add for tonight.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been your June 2nd Dirt and Asphalt podcast with Alex Wanders and Safe Crafty. Thank you all. Keep it clean and keep it green.